Around the time my wife and I got married, my father-in-law shared with me actually a little piece of marketing that he got from a bank. This piece of marketing was it was a pamphlet, and in that pamphlet was a story called The Richest Man in Babylon from George S. Clason. And I did a little bit of research into this story because I thought it was interesting and I maybe wanted to grab my own copy. And I later discovered that it's a very powerful book full of related stories that teach you principles of growing your wealth. And the first and core and fundamental and maybe most important principle in that entire book is to pay yourself first. And that's what I want to talk about in today's episode. These are the proven direct response marketing, copywriting, and entrepreneurship success strategies you can use today to write your own ticket and create the life you want. I am Roy Furr, and this is Breakthrough Marketing Secrets. Now, here's today's breakthrough. Quick reminder before we dive into today's content. Like every day, today's episode is sponsored by BTMSinsiders. That's my training library for copywriters, marketers, and entrepreneurs. It's like Netflix for copywriting and marketing training. So you pay one low monthly fee, get instant streaming access to the entire catalog, including a training that is completely relevant to today's episode, Freedom Through Copywriting. That's about how to achieve financial freedom through the skills of copywriting and marketing. So let's dive into pay yourself first. So this principle taught in The Richest Man in Babylon, the whole idea is instead of, paying out money to pay the bills, paying out money for this, paying out money for that, paying out money for that, and then saving money at the end, it's to instead set yourself up in a way where you start allocating money by saving at least 10% is what it recommends, at least 10%. And then you figure out how to live off the remaining 90%. Because if you do that, it may take a little bit of adjustment at first, but if you do that, you can very quickly start accumulating money. And in fact, within 10 months, you actually have an entire month's worth of income set aside. And then it can actually start to accumulate and snowball much faster than that. But the whole purpose of doing this, and why it's even more valuable if you have, let's say, dreams of entrepreneurship, of going out on your own, having money accumulated gives you flexibility and freedom. So, for example, if you have bills to pay this month and a really bad client comes your way, and you know that they're a bad client, and you know that they're going to be a pain in the butt to work with, but you have to pay that bill and you don't have the financial flexibility to not get that income, you're going to take on that client and you're going to have a terrible experience. And maybe you're going to pay your bill, but you're going to feel worse for it. And that is reflected, like that same situation is reflected over and over and over and over again when you don't have that financial flexibility and freedom that comes from having accumulated at least a little bit of money on the side. And the way that you accumulate a little bit of money on the side, that financial freedom does not come, for most of us, from hitting the jackpot. For some of us, it can start to come from like launching a marketing campaign that really takes off or launching a business that really takes off. But even that, like oftentimes the people who do that are spending years first accumulating and getting the financial freedom such that they're able to make the decisions that allow them to launch the marketing campaign in the business that achieves the much bigger financial freedom. And so for most of us, it's not about hitting the jackpot. It's about the little things that we can do repeated through time, starting with something as simple as paying yourself first, like carving out 10% of your income and putting it aside so that you can start to grow it, so that you can start to accumulate it. And so that, when a situation comes along that you should say no to, and the only reason to say yes would be because you have urgent financial needs, you're able to say no, and it's okay, and you feel good about it. So in the context of that, like I will say, if you want to save more and you want to grow more money, there are two ways to get rich. One is to actually just increase that savings. So you're paying yourself first. You're setting aside 10%. What if you set aside 11, 12, 13, 15, 20%? Okay, that's awesome, except for suddenly you're living off less and less and less. The other thing that you can do is to increase your income through like a financially valuable skill, such as copywriting, direct marketing, where you're actually putting marketing messages out and you're getting paid based on the results. And then you can increase the total amount, and 10% of 100,000 is a whole lot more than 10% of 30,000. I mean, that's a trajectory that my career took early on when I was discovering copywriting and direct marketing. And suddenly, you're saving $10,000 instead of $3,000. And then if you grow your income even more, you're saving even more. But if you're able to live nicely off a $70,000 income and save 10%, what if you increased your income to $100,000 and instead of saving 10%, you saved everything over the $60,000 or whatever it takes you to live comfortably, right? Suddenly you're saving 40%, actually closer to that. And so increasing your income and your savings, increasing your savings through increasing your incomes is even more powerful. And the key thing here is connecting this whole idea of paying yourself first, which is important no matter who you are, no matter what your income potential is, no matter what your background is, no matter whatever. If you're paying yourself first, you can start to accumulate money. But then when you build a financially valuable skill like copywriting, marketing, entrepreneurship, and you pay yourself first out of what you make there, then suddenly it can snowball even faster because you are able to earn more money and save a lot more money as well. And I will say another lesson for entrepreneurs is to do the same thing with your business, except for put it into, you could call it like a war chest or a rainy day fund or whatever it is for your business, in addition to your personal finances, because your business is going to have situations where when you have investable capital, whether it's for investing in paid traffic or investing in human resources or investing in some kind of other resource that your business needs, if you have that money set aside because your business has been paying itself first, it's been putting money aside that it can use for later, or even if you have a slower period, you're going to have way more flexibility and you're going to have way more power in making whatever decision you need to make by not having it tied to needing immediate cash flow. And so what I will say, number one, no matter who you are, applying this principle of pay yourself first from the Richest Man in Babylon is a very powerful thing to do if you want to actually accumulate wealth, regardless of how much income you make. And if you're a high income earner, you can pay yourself even more first without taking a bite out of your lifestyle. And you can accumulate more money faster, and then your money can start accumulating money, which are further lessons from the Richest Man in Babylon. And the more that you build financially valuable skills, such as copywriting and marketing, the ability to get traffic, to convert into customers, and to deliver those people value so that they want to come back and spend more money with you, the more powerful your ability to generate wealth as an entrepreneur becomes. And if you want to go deeper into any of this, I'll make sure to include links in the description again to BTMS Insiders, the sponsor of today's episode, me, right? And specifically to the Freedom Through Copywriting training that I did that actually goes into a lot of detail about how to actually achieve financial freedom through copywriting as a skill set and through the journey of being a copywriter entrepreneur. I'll also include a link in the description to The Richest Man in Babylon for you to check that book out. It's very powerful. It's like one of those old books that will never lose its impact and power because it focuses on core principles first and it teaches them in a very useful and interesting way. So check that out. The links are in the description. I'm Roy Furr. This is Breakthrough Marketing Secrets. Of course, this is more about financial stuff than marketing, although of course I've looped in some marketing as well, but I always aim to deliver as much value in these episodes as possible and to help you grow your marketing genius, your entrepreneurial genius, your wealth, one episode at a time with every single episode that I do. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you again in the next episode. Thank you once again for tuning in to this daily episode of Breakthrough Marketing Secrets. Remember, check out the links with this episode for even more value. Now make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe, and engage in every way you can to keep this show going and growing and delivering daily value to you. I'll catch you soon for your next big breakthrough.